Coming into the season, Jeremiyah Love was seen as the consensus number one running back for the 2026 NFL Draft. He got off to a little bit of a slow start, but has over the past couple of weeks continuously really shown that he is a special running back prospect. He's really turned things on, and today we're going to be going over some of his film, his strengths and weaknesses, and overall scouting reports after 7 games so far this season. So diving into Love's numbers, over 7 games he's played so far, PFF grade of 90.0, a 90.4 PFF rushing grade, is 124 carries, 758 yards, which is a 6.1 average, 9 touchdowns to 1 fumble in the running game, and then he has 468 yards of those after contact, which is 3.77 per attempt, which is a really, really good number. He's also forced 30 missed tackles, has 24 runs of 10 plus or more yards, which is a really impressive mark as well. He's a very explosive type runner. Then he has 19 catches for 197 yards and 3 touchdowns in the receiving game as well. So certainly not a finished product for Jeremiyah Love as they're fighting to potentially get into the college football playoffs. But overall, Love's season has been certainly a very productive one. Let's go ahead now and dive into kind of his scouting reports, where he might fit in the pros as well, and what this means for his draft stock. So first up, when you look at Jeremiyah Love, he is a fantastic blend of size, speed, and athleticism. Standing at 6 foot, 214 pounds, he's certainly well built for a running back, certainly taller than most running backs as well, and that he's certainly a large running back, and that allows him to take on contact and be a physical runner, but he also blends that powerful size with really good speed and athleticism, not just for his size, but just for running back prospects in general. His burst and acceleration is very impressive, and it allows him to get to the second level, and he has that true home run speed ability. I think his 40-yard dash time would be really good if he ends up deciding to run it. I think he does have fantastic acceleration, and then that burst into the second level combined with his really impressive speed allows him to get those giant chunk yardage plays that are so demoralizing for a defense. And so that overall combination, the stop-start ability, that is all really impressive when you just look at the physical traits of Jeremiyah Love, which is really important in a running back. Those allow him to have great contact balance and the ability to make defenders miss in the open field as well. As big as he is and as powerful as he is, he certainly breaks through arm tackles very consistently. He falls forward, he fights through contact and arm tackles really well. I think that the physicality in between the tackles is very evident for a runner his size and just a guy who plays with as much intensity and his ability to accelerate into the second level. That allows him to hit the linebackers and the safeties with power as well. But he is also fantastic at making guys miss in the open field. That's 30 missed tackles forced already this year is a really impressive number, and that's because he forces linebackers and second level defenders to take really bad angles because his speed and acceleration is really deceptively fast. And that means that he's able to force defenders to take bad angles. They aren't able to wrap him up very well, and he breaks off of them because he's so physical. And so that combination of being able to be ferocious up in the middle and, you got to pick up short yardage, he can do that, but he's also great out in space as well, which makes him really, really deadly and very difficult to tackle. He also has a nice balance of decisiveness and patience while waiting for blocks to develop. Sometimes when the hole is there, he'll just hit it really hard and at 1,000 miles an hour and makes him really tough to bring down. He picks up some extra chunk yardage by doing that, if that's what the blocking calls for. Other times he's very patient. He waits for his guys to open up holes. He has a little bit of that like Le'Veon Bell where he'll pause in the backfield for half a second, wait for that hole to open up, and then dart right through it as soon as it does get open. So he has a really nice balance of the two. Sometimes you see guys wait way too long and are way too patient. Sometimes you just see guys run 100 miles an hour straight into the back of their offensive linemen. He has a really nice balance of that too. And then when it comes to ball security, that's just not an issue for him. He has just 1 fumble in 3 years, has fumbled the 1 time this year, but hasn't previously in his college career, so really no ball security concerns. And then a really, really underrated part of Jeremiyah Love's game is his ability as a receiver. And not only is he a reliable option when it comes to screens and checkdowns, like most running backs are, he's really good in those areas. You'll see him take a screen and be able to make defenders miss because he's so dominant in the open field, and he can take those for really long plays. He transitions from a receiver to a runner really effectively, and he tucks it and takes off. but he's also a guy that can run legit routes out of the backfield. You'll see him run a wheel route, make an adjustment down the sideline. He's a guy that, absolutely can route up linebackers and safeties that are guarding him. Every once in a while, they'll even motion him out into the slot, and he'll run an out route. He'll run a corner route, and, he can create some really nice separation, being able to do that. And he has a good size profile for playing wide receiver as well. 6 foot, 214 pounds. Like, that's a big physical type of receiver. And he has good ball skills and the ability to make tough catches. So Jeremiyah Love is a legit weapon out of the backfield as well, which just helps make him an even more dynamic weapon and gives you lots of options for how to get him the football. And then nothing that is related to kind of his game on the field, but he will only be 20 years old on draft day, so he's an extremely young prospect. That means that, he was dominating at a very young age against college level competition at Notre Dame, so that's always exciting to see when you've got a guy that has a young breakout age, but also he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his body as well. He did get injured last year, but overall he doesn't have a billion carries coming into the NFL, which can often kind of reduce the shelf life of a running back prospect. He doesn't have that kind of carry, just fatigue on him. And then he also is super young, so you could give him a second contract at 24, 25 years old, and you could very reasonably get another contract's worth of play out of him. So that may help him kind of make that jump into the first round running back conversation where, I think he's solidly in, but it's tough to take a running back sometimes because they do tend to have a little bit of a shorter shelf life and aren't quite as valuable to the offense. But Love might be worth it regardless. Looking at some of his cons, there's really not a ton of major cons to his game. The one thing when it comes to him as a runner that I just want to continue to see him improve. Overall, his vision is good, but there are times that he can get a little bit bounce happy. He is a little bit indecisive hitting that hole or, just tries to bounce it outside too often, looking for that big play. And, when that hole is right in front of his face, sometimes you just got to hit it, pick up the 5 yards and move on. I think Love sometimes big play hunts a little bit, but overall, most of the time he's getting to that edge really effectively. He's able to outrun linebackers, get big time plays. So it's really not a major concern. You want him shooting for the big plays, but every once in a while he passes on kind of an easy hole and ends up getting kind of stuffed when he could pick up a far more yardage. But overall, not a massive concern for him. Then additionally, in pass protection, it's just not a huge part of his game right now. There are some good reps on tape, and that's exciting to see. He has the size to be a really effective pass protector. Ultimately, I think you're going to be using him far more as a receiver out of the backfield because of how dangerous he is in that regard. But I just don't think he has a ton of experience in pass protection. He's not asked to super consistently do it. And there are some kind of technique flaws in how he does it right now. So I think that's an area where he can continue to get better. And that would allow him to be a true 3-down running back where he can take some of those pass protection reps in as well and allow him to be that workhorse type of guy. So overall, what do I think of Jeremiyah Love? I think he is a fantastic running back prospect. I have a true first-round grade on him. He is somebody that I would take within the top 20 picks, and I think he's one of the most talented players in this draft. Even if he is a running back, I think the value he provides as a receiver, his young age, his rushing stats, and how dominant he is just as an athlete all kind of collectively make him well worth a high selection in this 2026 NFL draft. So we'll, of course, continue to evaluate him as the college football season unfolds, as we get closer to the draft and see kind of more of that draft process come to light. But I am really excited for what Jeremiyah Love can do in the NFL. I see him as a true RB1 on a team and a workhorse running back and a guy that really can change a running game for some team that ultimately ends up drafting him in April next year. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you like Jeremiyah Love as a prospect? Is he as good as advertised? If you like these kind of videos, please hit that subscribe button down below. While you're down there, hit the like button as well. Both of those are just free and easy ways to support the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one.